everybody. I'm coming today with another video, and I just want to be mindful and humble to say that I'm going to try and tell you about some information. Hopefully you guys will understand. I don't fully understand at this point in time as well, but I'm going to try and talk about this subject to where you guys can possibly understand. So the DNA movie, the story that is unfolding within my spiritual essence, within the spiritual DNA, the movie is unfolding, and I'm getting bits and pieces of it at certain intervals throughout the week, or it may take months, it may take years for it to fully make sense. But in one of my earlier videos, I had told you that I don't know, I believe that, you know, there are other existences besides mankind here on this planet, and there may be beings who are interchangeably going in and out of certain mountain peaks. There may be certain consciousness beings who are interchangeably going in and out of certain pyramids that were built on this planet. And this is, I'm here to tell you, this is not any credible evidence or anything. This is purely my opinion, and I'm intaking spiritual intuition at this time, and so the DNA story is unfolding, and right now, guess where, physically, I'm not talking spiritually at this moment, but physically, guess where Erebor is right now? And I'm going to show you on the computer screen. These are images of Antarctica, and there are pyramids there. You see the many types of pyramids that were found in Antarctica. And I think when the dimensional split is about to take place, there's going to be something that's going to happen called a pole shift. A pole shift. And I think at one point in time, yes, see this? At one point in time, Antarctica was a tropical region because there were pyramids there. And it's more than likely that the landmass that we know as Antarctica, it went through a major pole shift here. And physically on this planet, this This would be Erebor that was in the movie, because when you see Erebor, when you see the mountain of Erebor, it was cold. It was cold there. And you see here, it doesn't really look like a full pyramid. It looks like a mountain. And it's really, really frigid there. So, at this point in time, within the DNA movie, when you see the lore of the story, there's a region. Let's see if I can find it. There's a region. Yeah, this is really small, but okay, down here there's a region called Harad, but there are other subdivisional names for these regions here. So at this point in time, within the DNA movie, the spiritual movie, Harad is rising again, and when it does, Antarctica will go through a pole shift, and it will be how it was, like this. Erebor will turn into a pyramid again, because in the movie where their homeland was, it was frigid, it was cold. So spiritually, within that movie, what they knew as Erebor was, it was asleep for some time, because it had went through a pole shift. So, and I think to me this makes a lot of sense, because I mean, I don't know, what else can I say? I'm not an expert in this. It's just what's spiritually happening. So there may be interdimensional, multidimensional beings who are traveling in and out of these certain pyramids that are located all over the planet. And of course they would have, you know, there are underground bases and underground cities, so why wouldn't the dimensional beings, why couldn't they travel to different pyramid locations? So spiritually, Erebor is going to be taken over by the Harad people again, which were, I guess you could call them, they would look like the ancient pharaohs, or, you know, the dark melanated people of the story would come to rule over Erebor again, because they were the ones that had built it in the first place. And then after them was the dwarf or whatever. They claimed it as their homeland after all that happened. So It's actually the beginning of a story that that is hidden, because Erebor is physically one of the pyramids that is in Antarctica right now. And then when the pole shift happens, when it comes to happen, it's going to be, Antarctica is going to be a tropical region again. And that's where the story starts all over again, you guys. It's going to start all the way over. Yeah, it's crazy. See, these are the different pyramids. So, to me it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, and I'm still trying to figure it out too. So the Haradrim people, the dark melanated people, they were the ones that originally built the pyramid, which is known as Erebor, but in the movie they don't really state it as being a pyramid. It's just a mountain. So, yeah. So the beings that I could be in contact with, they could be coming from Antarctica, but who really knows for sure, though? I'm not really stating it's true or anything. It's just, I'm just trying to make all of this out as far as the spiritual movie goes. So, okay. That's it, you guys. So in the future, in the far future, there's probably going to be a pole shift, a magnetic pole shift. They say it happens all the time, but maybe when all the shit goes down, when the apocalypse happens, it's going to be known as a pole shift, though. It's not. It's something that the Earth will have to do. Because when the pole shift happens, I think I heard somebody say, like, the Earth will flip. It'll flip. So Antarctica will be up here, and then maybe another landmass like USA or America will be down here where it was, or where Antarctica was. It'll reverse itself. So I did hear. It's commonly heard that when a pole shift happens, the Earth will flip. It'll flip in some certain manner, in some form, in some way. Because I think when this Earth first started out and there were people, it was most of the majority of the population were human, which means melanated people, dark-skinned people. Because there are times when the Earth goes through these specific changes, and I'm hearing that there are 2 suns now or something. So that's going to make the climate a bit hotter. So in the DNA movie, Erebor is not going to be cold anymore. It's going to be a tropical region where the Haradrim were there once more. They were originally there before the dwarf came there. And the Haradrim were these ancient peoples, and I don't have it up here anymore. Maybe it's this. But they originally were down here with the Mumakan Rim. These people down here were the ones who, I guess you could say, physically created or birthed out the Harad people, and then they spread over here. Because I think all of these regions were once occupied by the dark melanated peoples known as the Mumakonrim and the Harad people. And then all these continents within the story had went through a pole shift. And when you watch the movie, the actual movie, Mount Erebor is within a cold region, so it's, in a way, spiritually, that pyramid is asleep because it's going through a cycle, or it had went through a pole shift, a cycle. And that's why those people aren't there anymore, because of a massive pole shift, probably within the story. But they don't go into that story very much, because this is a personal. What I'm going through now is a personal spiritual awakening of my own. So not everybody's going to get it, and I understand that. But I'm just telling you, within the spiritual movie, this is what happens, this is what goes down. And it might intertwine with other people's stories, other people's spiritual awakenings here, because everybody's going through a different shift. And I guess you could say that we all are spiritually and personally going through our own pole shift, if you want to see it like that. Okay, that's all I had. Bye.